Witch Movie Club. I'm Lily.
I'm Charlie.
My name's Ben.
And on today's podcast, we're going to be looking at The Craft from 1996, directed by Andrew Fleming. And what? Why did you try to get me to read it off when I'm sick?
Okay. Yeah, Lily's not feeling great today. The Craft 1996, directed by Andrew Fleming, who also done Dick and Nancy Drew. Stars Robin Tunney, who was in Vertical Limit, Empire Records and End of Days. Fairuza Balk from American History X, Return to Oz, Waterboy.
And also Worst Witch.
And The Worst Witch. She's in loads of things.
Yeah, but I was like, that's quite...
What is it? Neve Campbell, who's in Scream, Wild Things, Skyscraper. You got Rachel True, who's in Half Baked, Groove, Half and Half. John Capellos plays Ray in this, who's her stepdad. You know the name, don't you? He's at a Breakfast Club. The janitor.
Oh, the janitor. Well, obviously, who else is there?
But he's the abusive stepdad who has a heart attack in it.
Oh, okay.
He's in Breakfast Club, The Shadow, Weird Science, 16 Candles.
Well, he's in all of them as well.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's in a few, John. I only knew him from Breakfast Club.
Well, that is the only time he really had a main part. The other ones he always had small parts.
Before I would have recognised him from it.
Weird Science, he runs the bar that they go to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right.
Skeet Ulrich, who's in As Good As It Gets, Scream and The Newton Boys. And Christine Taylor from Zoolander, Dodgeball and the Brady Bunch films.
Yeah. And also Wedding Singer.
And Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
And Friends.
And Friends.
And Lily, what's this film about?
This film is about, 4 girls that practice witchcraft.
Mm.
And it goes wrong for most of it. Like, all of them, really.
But you really like this film, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Why do you like this film so much?
I think it's a really good teen film. Like, I've watched it for years and I just really love it every Halloween. So.
Did I do this for you on DVD? I think I might have told you about this film years ago.
Maybe.
Was it you I told about?
Don't know.
One of yours, I think it was.
Maybe.
I'd said to her about, because I don't, and then I think it might have been you that I showed it to, and then you showed it to Lily.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
Because you know that that's
Possibly.
kind of thing. Yeah, I remember introducing, and it wouldn't have been George or Rosie,
No.
so it's definitely been you or Lily.
Yeah.
Because I'd done Heathers as well for me. Remember I done you lot of Winona Ryder films, didn't I, at one point? Because like sort of you started getting an interest in the 80s, and there was sort of certain films with certain actresses and stuff like that, and I thought Winona Ryder's a good one I thought you'd like. And so I've done a few of her films for you, and there was also like the gothy ones like this, like the Heathers and this kind of thing. I think that's why I went with that.
Yeah, it's very much like a Heathers or Mean Girls type thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy the way the film's just so dark in a way, but it's not like unpalatable for the most part.
But you like Halloween in general, don't you?
Yes.
You like October. Is this your favourite month?
Yeah, I'd probably say so.
Yeah.
Not more than Christmas.
Well, that's the thing. It's always a difficult one. I weigh it up between Halloween and Christmas every year.
Because they're so similar, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they are in a little way, I guess. But
this film I actually had to look up as well, because I thought, Christine Taylor, I thought, this is long before she'd done the Brady Bunch films and all that, but it wasn't.
No.
She'd already done the Brady Bunch film, and I think she'd done this, and then straight after this was the Brady Bunch sequel.
Sure, Jan.
Right.
So it was like, so she's right in the middle of the Brady Bunch films when she's done this film.
So she didn't cut her hair off in real life then?
No.
No.
Which is your right bitch in this, isn't she?
That's your favourite scene, isn't it?
Oh gosh, I can't.
She can't watch that scene.
What scene?
The one where her hair starts falling out.
Why?
I genuinely just can't watch it. It makes my skin crawl so much.
It's only hair.
No, but it's just something about it. Just makes me feel really unwell. I can't watch that one scene.
I think it might be a girl thing. Yeah. Because hair is so
your dad
important.
didn't cry when it happened to him, did it?
No. And it's the exact same way. I was abusing this girl who's jumping off a dive bowl, pulled off my swimming cap, and all my hair was falling out. I was just like, oh well. I think it's a bigger deal for girls though.
Yeah, of course it
hair's
is.
such
Hair
a big...
is a big thing.
No,
for
her
girls,
hair is
isn't
a
it?
big thing, but I don't know. It's just something about watching her hair come out in that way. Oh no, it just makes me feel
And
really
it's all like
unwell.
red and raw.
Oh yeah,
looking.
no. Oh no, I
And
can't.
got like scabby looking in it as well.
Yeah, I can't. It makes me feel really sick.
Yeah. So Fairuza Balk, as I said, is in it, playing Nancy Downs. My theory is that this is a sequel to The Worst Witch.
Yeah.
And because in The Worst Witch, 1986, so 10 years earlier, she was going to a witch school and
In
England, and she showed power beyond her years, because at the end of Worst Witch, spoiler alert, she turns some of the most powerful witches into little snails. And the head teacher...
In The Worst Witch.
In The Worst Witch.
Yeah, don't...
No, in The Worst Witch. So this is a spoiler alert for Worst Witch. She turns some of the most powerful witches into snails. And Miss Cackle and Miss Hardbroom hold an emergency meeting, which you don't see, with the Grand Wizard, and say, listen, she's really powerful. She could destroy us all. She turned them into snails just like that. I couldn't do that. We've got to do something. And the Grand Wizard comes up with this plan. He goes, look, I'm going to fly her to another country. I'm going to wipe her memory and give her to some childless woman, who he does, who then gets married to the bloke, because it's already established he's not her dad in it. And then, yeah, so she's been forced to forget that she's a witch, but in this her powers start coming back to her. So I think this is, it makes sense. There's no weak links in it.
Well, I suppose it's a theory, isn't it? If you want to go down that road.
Changes her name
But
to
she's
Nancy
not a nice
Downs.
person. She's a nice person in Worst Witch. She's actually a nice girl. She's like a quite
Yeah, but
nasty
because
girl.
she's put with that abusive woman and the father, so obviously turns her cruel, I guess.
Yeah, and there's some... Yeah, because...
So she was really the Worst Witch after all.
She was. It was hinting towards it.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, she's not... Even though she is kind of the bad guy in this, she's not like...
Evil.
Out and out evil. You can see the reason behind it. She's like white trash family in this little trailer with a horrible stepdad, a crap mum anyway.
She's very goth in this, didn't she? Compared to like when she's younger, she just looked like a normal little girl. But as she got older, she's got that kind of like, you know, you can imagine her with them sort of holes in her ears, you know, like the big sort of like the rings in her nose, all the piercings in her tongue. You can imagine being like one of them.
Yeah.
Mum thought she looked like I did at your party. She said, let's look at... Yeah, it looks like you the other week.
Like when you dressed up as Rocky Horror.
Yeah. Which is funny because there's loads of memes on the internet saying that she's like...
She has got a very Frankenfurter look about her, because she's got that short kind of black hair, heavy makeup. Like
big grin.
Yeah, that kind of... Yeah, she has. She could be the daughter of Sim Curry out of Rocky Horror Show.
Robin Tunney, the lead actress, she's actually wearing a wig throughout the whole film.
Yeah. And what is the reasoning for that?
She shaved her head for Empire Records. She's done a film called Empire Records where she had short hair, and they'd finished filming it a couple of weeks before they started filming this, so she had to wear a wig.
Yeah, you can sort of... I knew that when I was watching it. Some bits you look and think, okay, it does look a bit wiggy, but then you think, is it like 90s hair? Is it the kind of hair? Like, when you look at it close up, it doesn't really look wiggy. It looks like it is her head. She's just got like bad hair.
Yeah.
You know, but they wanted her to have a pixie cut, I think, at one point.
What's a pixie cut?
It's like very short.
Yeah. That's sort of pixie, sort of maybe like a bit twiggy-ish, I don't know, that kind of thing. That like sort of short, like a pixie, like sort of Tinkerbell.
Okay.
That kind of pixie cut. It's like a very sort of short kind of look, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Christine Taylor, as you said, is in this, who's married to Ben
Stiller.
I was going to say Affleck then, in real life. They actually met on the set for a never broadcast pilot called Heat, Vision and Jack, starring Jack Black in 1999. So she hadn't got with Ben Stiller at this point. It wasn't until 1999 that they did.
Angelina Jolie and Alicia Silverstone was considered for the role of Sarah Bailey in this film.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I think they could have done well with it. Yeah.
Both of them is quite... And also Alicia Silverstone was quite big at the time as well, wasn't she, in the 90s?
Yeah, Angelina Jolie really took off with Girl Interrupted.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
You've seen that, haven't you?
I've seen Girl Interrupted. It's very good.
Yeah, she come along later on, Angelina Jolie. She become famous more later on, but become more famous. Is it your stomach?
No.
What was it?
I don't mind.
What about mine either?
I'll keep it in.
In early drafts, the character of Rochelle was suffering from an eating disorder. But then after Rachel True was cast, they decided to make it into racist bullying instead. Which...
Yeah, I think either one could work. You know,
Yeah.
but I think the good thing about the racist bullying is it really gives Christine Taylor.
Where's my stomach?
It gives Christine Taylor time to shine as like a bad guy, because she hadn't really. I don't think she'd really played that many bitches up to that point.
Christine Taylor.
Yeah.
No, she's always been the nice girl.
Yeah. Even in like Wedding Singer, even though she's like.
Yeah, but that was later on, I think, Wedding Singer.
Yeah, but even still with Wedding Singer, she's not really.
No, she's not horrible.
She's a nice person.
She's a nice person in that.
Really nice person in that. Skeet Ulrich, who as I mentioned was in Scream, he's the jock in this, isn't he?
Is that about Saved by the Bell?
No.
Screech. So what's that Screech?
Skeet Ulrich. He's in Scream. Sydney! Isn't he? He's Neve Campbell's boyfriend in Scream, and he's in this. He's the jock.
Oh, the one that she gets to
makes her fall in love. Yeah.
Right, okay.
His obviously there's spoiler alerts for The Craft. His death is actually foreshadowed because his jersey is 86, and 86 in someone is slang for killing someone in America, or someone dying, being offed.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's quite a famous scene in it. When she goes, "He's sorry, you're sorry." You know, when she's floating off, that's like one of the famous scenes from the film. You know, when he actually falls off.
Because you always start mouthing it when it comes on. That scene.
it's very
why
famous. Well, I just know it.
Yeah, but why do you know that scene so well?
Well, because it's everywhere. If you
it's
ever look up,
probably one of the most famous scenes from the film, I would say, wouldn't you?
Well, like on TikTok and stuff like that.
It has appeared on TikTok, but it's not.
It's when she's like really losing it, innit?
It's very easily recognisable, and if you look up the film, you will find that scene pretty much straight away. There was also there were plans to release a direct-to-DVD sequel focusing on Fairuza Balk, Nancy character, but these plans were actually dropped for unknown reasons.
Oh, because she was in the mental home, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And that would have been the third worst witch film. Yeah, it would have been good.
Yeah, but she's in the
mental home. But they can still have her in the mental home.
Maybe that was Girl Interrupted, maybe.
Yeah, she could have been in Girl Interrupted.
Fairuza Balk's an excellent actress.
Yeah,
she is good. She's just disappeared. Like, you don't really hear from her now, do you?
Not really. I mean, she's had work, but every role that she's done, and she's had some horrible roles, like a character in this, or a character in American History X. You know, really sort of horrible characters, and yet you don't hate her as a person in real life. You just think, wow, what a great actress.
Yeah, she just takes on any role. I mean, unlike Leonardo.
She plays similar sort of roles as she's got older. She plays that kind of gothy kind of this type of role. I think from this onwards, this is the type of role.
Worst witch onwards.
I mean, she'd probably fit in well with a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, she'd fit in really well with a Tim Burton movie. She's got the look, isn't she?
Yeah, I'm surprised he's never cast her in anything.
Yeah, but I mean, he gets his favourites.
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he? Goes back to his favourite ones. But yeah, and also Return to Oz. That's a freaky film. So it's like she likes a particular kind of...
And they're all beheaded, aren't they, or something? They've got heads, headless.
And you've got the wheelies, those creepy people. I remember, from what I remember it, I'd like to watch it again. From what I remember it was just really freaky. It's nothing like Wizard of Oz.
Do you remember it?
I don't think she's ever seen Return to Oz.
No, I don't think
But there's the horrible witch, and she got all the pretty women's heads.
I think so.
In a case, it's like a room with all the heads, the decapitated heads.
I'm not sure. This film was actually given an R rating. They followed the rules to try and make sure that it wasn't an R rating, but because the reason it was given it is because of girls practicing witchcraft, which is up to an R rating apparently. And obviously there's no avoiding that. They could have gone back and removed all parts of them doing witchcraft, but then you'd only have half an hour of film.
Yeah, the money that Nancy and her mother inherited, which was 175k in 1996, is roughly the equivalent of 341k in 2023.
Yeah, see, we was asking about that, weren't we, yesterday? Because Lilly said, when they said how much, she went,
it's not a lot, yeah, but in 1996...
That's it. I said, realistically, how much would that be now?
Because in 96 it was different. It was, say, 350 grand, so that's quite a lot. It's like a nice lump sum.
But I mean, if someone left me that much money, I'd go, wow, yeah, I can do so much with that money. But I suppose 96 is worth even more.
A major dramatic scene was cut in post-production. Sarah feels that Nancy has completely lost her mind and suggests to the others that they cast a binding spell on her, the same one Sarah eventually uses.
All we have to do is take a picture of her and wrap a white ribbon around.
It says it can backfire.
Thought we weren't supposed to practice magic on each other, ladies. I'm sorry, I'm just worried about you. Worried? worried.
You just seem a little out of control.
Out of control?
Yeah, Nancy. Maybe you need to see someone.
Just shut up! I have saved you all from oblivion! Can you see that? When I met you, no one could even talk to you. Only black girl in an all-white neighborhood. Do you remember that? Even you. Look at you. Now that you're all beautiful and perfect, you think everything's just hunky-dory. Well, it's not. When I met you, no one could even stand the sight of you. And I can take you back there, and don't you doubt that. I leave you alone for 2 minutes with her. And what do? You turn your backs on me, just like everybody else has ever done.
After Sarah returns to her house near the end, the house is full of snakes, rats, maggots, etc. As she retreats to the upstairs bathroom, we see her pass a whiteboard with the name Gustav Klimt, an artist whose works were denounced for their eroticism. He was also known to have a common theme of the femme fatale, or women who were empowered and strong.
All of the teen actresses within the film were in their 20s, and the actress of Rochelle was actually 29, almost 30 years old during.
Well, that's the same with a lot of films. Like in Greece, weren't they all like 50 odd?
But she actually looks the youngest out of them, I have to say.
Oh,
Rochelle.
No, I'd say Bonnie does, realistically. The one with the scars all over her. I think she'd probably look the youngest because she looks the most
but she
insecure.
turns into a bit of a bitch, doesn't she? When she gets on the scars.
Yeah.
But just shows you how some people, you know, I feel sorry for them if they changed. If only they took that away, they'd be such a nice person and they deserve it, then they just turn into a right bitch, and you think, well, that's the reason why he was like that.
Yeah. I mean, up to that point,
you feel sorry for her.
You do feel sorry for her.
But I think it's just purely because I think it's just the witchcraft that did that. Like obviously at the end of the film, she's a bit snarky because obviously she doesn't have her scars anymore. But I think that it's...
But she just changed, her personality completely changes.
What I'm saying is like the witchcraft, because obviously they said, oh, you'll get this threefold. Like it'll be much worse afterwards. And obviously both of them end up becoming much more horrible people, which is the effects of the witchcraft. I wouldn't say it's necessarily actually their character.
But going back to what you're saying about the scene with all the snakes and stuff, most of that was Robin Tunney, but she couldn't do the bit with the rat falling on the head. They had to get another actress to do it. So when she's back in the room, she's got a rat on her shoulder and then one falls onto her hair.
Oh, yeah.
She couldn't do it. Which I thought, really? Yeah. It's only a rat.
I think out of all of them, I think the rat would probably be the least. Yeah. I'd be worried about.
I mean, that scene in particular, there was over 3,000 snakes, which is including pythons, boas, water snakes, garter snakes, rat snakes, and a 10-foot Amazon constrictor. And
that's the one that's wrapped around in the stairs or something, isn't it?
God. Yeah.
That would freak me out too much because I don't... There's only so much training you can give an animal.
I don't mind snakes.
Yeah, one that's bigger than you.
Listen, I'm not stupid. A big, massive boa constrictor.
Like one that's about the body of that sort of size.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, say if like there was a choice between like a boa constrictor coming in this room or a big, massive like Brazilian wandering spider.
You'd have the wandering spider.
No way. I'd have the bloody snake every time.
What would you have, Lily?
Neither. I wouldn't put myself in that scenario.
Are you scared of animals, are you?
I'm not scared, but I don't like... I don't like a lot of animals. Like
could you kiss a tarantula?
No, gosh no. I've held a tarantula and they freak me out enough.
And you've held a snake?
I've held both, but I don't really...
Yeah, but you weren't that bothered about them. You was like, yeah, I'm going to keep this, man.
No, because I was, what, 9? Nowadays, I'd be too freaked out by that sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really like...
What about bats?
I don't know. Bats are okay.
Yeah. What about you, Ben? Is anything scare you?
Not really. People.
Commitment.
No. This is a good film though. I did actually like this film. I watched it again, as you said, because we were doing a podcast on it. And I had seen it and I thought, let's bluff it. And I thought, no, let me watch it. I will watch it again because I hadn't seen it for such a long time. And it is a really good film. It is a very sort of teen kind of film, but in a sort of dark way. It's very like Mean Girls, as you say. It's that kind of high school kind of sort of misfit type of John Hughes type film, but not like that. It's like a dark witchcraft version. You know?
You mimicking me.
Well, you're sitting there. I can't believe that's what he's saying.
It's also I'm
Is it
not
really that
coughing.
bad, what I
No,
just said?
it's only so I'm not coughing constant.
No, I'm joking.
When I watch it, I do like this film, but I think basically the target audience is teenage girls. I can see how it appeals to them. Like even that scene where you said all the hair falling out, I watch it and just like, it's no big deal. It's just hair. But I can imagine
for a girl,
it's sort of
like, and she's all about her hair. Like she's got lovely long blonde hair, isn't she? And she's all that kind of like she's like a proper, like a bitchy Marsha Brady. Seeing that.
Well, you can see it coming, like where she's constantly talking about Rochelle's hair and mocking her for her race.
Yeah.
So of course, like the main thing that makes her beautiful, which is like her blonde hair, is the thing that's taken. So
you know what you could do if you were just going to show someone Brady Bunch for the first time. Take that little scene of her being horrible to her in with the hair. Go, there's a pubic hair in here, and just splice it into the Brady Bunch film, and people will be watching it and go, oh, she's a bit mean there, isn't she? A bit racist.
You do it is like off the like just add the audio so like you don't actually see her, so you think, why did she just say that?
I think the 4 characters are well cast. I think they all work. They get a good amount of time each, and they work well together.
And exactly. And you get to know, like you do spend the same amount of time with each of the characters. Like there's no character you think, oh, that one you don't hardly see anything. You don't know about that one. They've all got their own little thing. Like she's got the burns, she's got the race thing.
Yeah.
And Nancy's just
white trash type thing.
Yeah. And then the other one has got with the issues with her dad and her mum and her dead mum and all that kind of stuff.
See, I mean, this is a bit random, but I've always like the way that the friend group is. I don't understand why she ever joined it in the first place anyway. Because as much as obviously he was just trying to get into her pants almost, he was saying, "I'll stay away from those girls." They were always horrible. Like they were never like nice to her from the beginning.
Well, she was a misfit as well, so she probably felt a connection to them because they was like an outcast, and she felt like an outcast. And also with the spell, the witch bit, when they found out, oh, they're witches or something, and she sort of probably thought, because she knows about her own powers, so she probably just sort of gravitated towards them for that reason.
I just felt that they were always quite mean. I mean, they have nice moments. Like, none of them are, like, always...
But they're not evil.
horrible.
That's what I'm saying. She said even with, like, the Fairuza Balk one, they're just a little bit bitchy. And they're just, like, sort of, like, misfitty kind of girls. They're all, like, damaged.
Yeah, I guess.
And don't you feel sometimes like you must have friends there's girls you know and you think, why are you friends with those people? They're horrible people. So from an outsider's point of view, you can look and go, well, she shouldn't be friends with them. But I mean, really, that Fairuza Balk character is a little bit mean to her when she first comes over, and then they go and apologise afterwards, say sorry about that.
Yeah, but I think it's just... I just think it's just for the fact that they obviously realised, oh, we need her so that they can connect with Menor. But I don't actually think that, like, they're really that nice people, other than, like...
Well, at the end it shows when she goes, oh, she ain't got no powers anyway, and then she sort of realises she has.
I think it's just because the thing is, I know girls like that.
What, witches?
No.
Bitches.
No, I just know girls that act like that in
But
real
girls in
life.
general, they can be quite mean to each other. More than blokes.
You must have had friends
Oh,
at some point.
my old friend group, actually, a lot of people used to say, why did I hang out with that lot? Because they were all horrible, like to everyone else.
Well, there you go. So you was like...
But it's not, but like
Sarah.
the thing is, it's just,
yeah.
that's probably why I have this opinion, because I look on it now, I'm like, why would you ever want to be friends with those kinds of people? But
So what made you choose this? Is this one of your favourite films, would you say, of all time?
I'd say it's one of my favourite films of all time. I'd definitely put it in my top 10 list.
Really?
Maybe even my top 5.
What era would you say dominates your top 10 list? What decade?
I'd say it's a mixture between 90s and early 2000s.
That's your favourite
There's
sort
a
of
few
films?
that like go out of that, like for example, like Whiplash. That's not like 90s or
2000s.
that's 2010-ish.
Right.
And I mean, It's a Wonderful Life is obviously old. So
About 80s, you like it in
Weird
the 80s?
Science.
yeah, I love 80s, but I'd say that a lot of the time I find most enjoyment in like 90s and early 2000s.
Right, okay. What's your kind of genre that you like then? What kind of film? Is it like this type of thing?
I like this kind of thing. I am a big fan of like films that are like drama comedies maybe, or like I do actually would say I do quite enjoy some teen movies.
See, I like the fact that I've got such a varied range of films that I like. Like, for example, I could sit and watch an old black and white film.
Yeah.
I love old black and white films. I could sit there and go, I really feel like this, and it takes you to a different place. I can watch a rom-com. I can watch a horror. I can watch something from like any decade. You know what I mean? I like a bit of everything, and it's not just like I only like this. It's like with my taste in music. I like such a range from like the bloody 50s up to now. There's a bit of everything that I can appreciate, you know.
Yeah, I completely
and I
agree
like
with
that.
Yeah,
and it all depends what mood you're in, because I mean you're in so many different moods that you think this suits my mood for today.
Yeah.
Saying you want upbeat, or sometimes you just want like sort of like
dour kind of.
Yeah, like
sometimes you're in the mood for love.
Lovey sort of ones, or sometimes you want like sort of like Britpop sort of, you know, it's all sorts of
you
stuff.
Want feel good, and other times you just want ones. Oh,
like Radiohead, just want to kill yourself and all that kind of stuff.
I do say I would tend to gravitate towards films that are more positive than negative.
Yeah. Well, I funny enough, saying that, like I don't watch live telly really now. I don't watch the news. I don't read newspapers. When I come home, I will put like a comedy box set on. I put things on in the background, and it's usually just sort of comedy based. It's usually like laughter tracks, things, or something that's just upbeat. I find it helps with my mood more. If you're all doom and gloom, like for example all that COVID stuff, when it was all the doom and gloom and everyone, how many people was getting ill and all this kind of stuff on the news every day, and I found it so engulfing and so depressing. Whereas when I cut all that out and I thought I'm not going to pay attention to none of it, I then realised, I felt so much better. I mean, I can't make a difference with whatever is going on, but I can make a difference to how I feel about certain things and how I react to certain things. And I just know certain things just anger me or upset me or really worry me. And I just think I push it to the back of my mind, and I brought comedy. Comedy is a good way of having is in your background. And usually things I've seen loads of times.
If you indulge in negative media, you're gonna end up being like, for example, I love Radiohead and I love other modern artists like this artist I love, Mitski, but the music that they make is just so depressing, and it's for when you're in that atmosphere. But if you surround yourself with it, you're gonna feel that like
an emo.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need like a bit of ABBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't like
you need
allow
upbeat, same upbeat and uplifting.
Because so many people think, like, I'd like to claim that if you like, you just like that stuff, but genuinely it will affect your mood, and you need to just like have a balance.
As I say, with comedy, it's a fantastic way to lift you out of your, you know, it's just things that don't seem as bad, you know, and it's usually with stuff, as you say, that you've seen loads of times before, and it's just like, it's easier rather than sitting there watching the news or listening to all depressing stuff all the time. It's like,
well, that's what news is. News is always traded on bad stuff. This is why they say no news is good news, because when you look on the headlines and it will have something stupid like my hamster wrestled me to the ground or something, you think you should just, well, it's like stupid headlines like that, but you should just think, well, that's good, because that means there's nothing serious bad going, you know, because they know that if I sent you a video now saying that this person's died or there's been this explosion.
Swift died yesterday.
Yeah,
She died.
a couple of days ago.
Was it a couple of days ago? I only found out yesterday. I liked her.
No, she was.
I liked her. She's brilliant. I loved her in I loved her sort of like in Downton Abbey. She's fantastic. But in all the films that she's done over the years, like Clash of Titans, she was in. She's in First Wives Club.
In Harry Potter as well, and people love her.
I never seen her in that, but that's what she was like. She was quite known for that. Cause I've seen a lot of memes about that. But she was in a thing called like Miss Jean Brodie, which is like the 60s. She's just been around for ages, but she was a fantastic actress, so I just wanted to mention her. But yeah, also going back on, reflecting back on that, you know, say like with being like negative things around you, but then it's also the same with negative people. Don't you find sometimes when you've got someone that's all like doom and gloom, you feel like they're sucking your energy out of you?
Yeah, definitely.
And you're like, oh God, like I need to get away from it. It's like they're like a thundercloud. Like, you know that Care Bear, that little cloud over his head. It's like, oh, get away from me, you're so negative.
Yeah.
But that's like with this group of girls, that's what I'm saying, like you would find that with them, they'd suck all your energy out of you.
You'd so much rather watch a film like Annie than I don't know, like
Annie's a really good feel good.
Yeah, like you'd so much rather watch like a film like Annie than watching something like, I don't know, like Sophie's Choice or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean,
so I've never seen that. Is that when she has to choose between which kids she likes
best? And she goes, can't you take both? Because those getting on her nerves. No, but yeah, the thing is, like, there's loads. Some of my favourite films have really dour endings, but that's what makes them in a way, and I don't mind that because I think, and it's more realistic
really ending rather than an ending that you know is just for the studio because it makes people smile. Like, for example, Death Becomes Her. We talked about that the other week, where the original ending sounded so much better. But I would have liked that ending more than the ending that the happy sort of theatre, like the sort of big Hollywood ending kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, something for me, this is a bit... I mean, sometimes a film, if it's too happy, that makes me a bit sad. Like, for example, there's a more modern film called Captain Fantastic. Viggo Mortensen's in it as well. I think that's a good film, but genuinely, if I watch it, it makes me feel really depressed because, like, the ending's so happy, but then it's like, it just feels not real.
But ain't it lovely when an ending's happy? Don't you find that?
Yeah,
It's
but
lovely.
you know, you've watched that film.
I've watched that film. Yeah, I felt as if it should have ended more on a dour note. It should have been.
it's
But
Oh, I see, I don't know that one.
It's a good
Like things
film.
like Wedding
but,
Singer is
yeah.
like you come away and just smiling.
yeah, but I mean that's this is the thing. You can have both. It's I don't trade in just one. And
Oh
sometimes,
no, I'll say me.
And I think it's tempting sometimes if you're feeling down to watch something else that makes you feel like to go with the feelings. So I'm going to listen to Radiohead. I'm going to watch Sophie's Choice or whatever. But then sometimes you've got to think, you know what, I'm going to buck this trend. I'm going to listen to my feel-good playlist. And then when I get home, I'm going to watch Annie or Wedding Singer or something. I'll watch something which I know is going to put a smile on my face. Make me feel happy again, because sometimes it's so tempting just to sort of go with being low.
I have seen the film before. I remember watching a film called Eden Lake. I told you about this, and I watched it. And as soon as that finished, I felt so depressed. And it was around about the time when Friends was on and all that. And so Friends was all like, it was halfway through the series. It's like late 90s. And I thought, right, I had DVDs of it. I went, right, I've got to put something really light-hearted on, something really comedy-based. And even Friends, which was all fresh at the time as well, did not take me out of that mood. I just felt so down and depressed. And I thought, that's really depressed me, that film. And I thought, I will never watch that film again for that reason.
Have you ever watched it?
No, I haven't watched it since.
Just
because
you
I've
recommend
encouraged
it
it
to
to
other
people. Yeah, I've got, it's a brilliant film. I remember someone in my work once who recommended, guys, you've got a film about me and my wife to watch. I went, oh yeah, it's a brilliant film. Yeah, watch Eden Lake. And he came in next day, what the fucking hell's that film you only just watched? Fucking what depressing film. And it ended like, because it was so real. It's like a horror film, but it was worse than a horror film because it could happen.
Yeah.
And that's why you look and you think it's worse than like Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger, because this kind of thing happens every day.
Yeah.
And there's people like this that are living among us. Loads of people like this.
Just like in The Craft, there's many people like those witches.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing this back on.
Oh yeah, sorry.
The Craft.
Sorry, I know.
You made an interesting point about The Craft, weren't you, when they was doing the spells?
Yeah, no, so obviously they all have different towers of like the different elements. Nancy represents the wind.
She's like the wind.
So they say, oh, I thanks to my sisters or something like that, and she goes to the wind. So Nancy's, she always comes into the room like, she blows him out the wall.
Yeah.
Rochelle is with water.
Water sucks. It really, really sucks.
And she's always diving off the diving board.
Right, okay. Fire with the burns.
Bonnie is fire, and Sarah's earth, which I think makes sense because she's also the most grounded out of all of them. Because she's and also the fact that wind is the biggest disruption to earth a lot of the time, which is why it makes sense. Like all of them, like the wind, fire, and water, all of them are more like can be more negative.
Yeah.
Whereas earth is
more damaging.
Yeah.
Like they could be like they could destroy.
So it's not an
Whereas
accident.
Earth is actually probably the most grounded out of all of it. Whereas fire can destroy, water can destroy, wind can destroy. You know, they're all
But obviously
powerful elements, but all together they can work well.
Earth controls all of it in a sense,
Yeah.
which it makes sense with the fact that Sarah's the most grounded, but in the end
she's
she's
the
also the most
strongest.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it makes sense for.
But that's
the
only because
elements.
Mildred hasn't fully remembered her full power.
And that's why she's at the back and she's laughing to herself. She's remembering when she was in the Worst Witch Academy.
So if you're filthy, smelly, evil, wicked and cruel, you'll be right at home in my little school.
I noticed as well the beach where they go to. This won't matter to anyone who hasn't seen it. Is that cave they come out? It's the exact same cave from Usual Suspects. When Fenster portrays them. There's a famous scene in that.
I vaguely remember because I think we watched that not so long ago.
Well, we'll watch it again anyway. When
No,
we
I
do a
think we've done it.
podcast.
Haven't we done a podcast?
No,
on
we've
it?
done 7. Which is
Why
about
did
the
I
same
watch
time.
Usual Suspects then? I watched it for a reason.
I don't know.
I thought I must
It's
have
a good
watched it
film.
It's a great film.
Yeah, I know, but I always knew. See, the thing is, I always knew the ending with that, even though I'd not seen it. I knew the ending, so that sort of ruined it for me.
Yeah. Well, this I know exactly what I mean. Obviously, we've got to mention it here. But the good thing about that film was, with Usual Suspects, I was in secondary school at the time, and there was a boy in my class, and he said, "Have you seen Usual Suspects?" And I said, "No." He said, "Watch The Usual Suspects. It's a really good film." And I was like, "Okay, I will." And he kept asking me, "Have you seen it? Have you seen it?" But to his credit, he never once said.
Oh, it's got a twist and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're never going to guess this. And that makes my brain start working. It's like, don't tell me stuff like that. Just say, like you said, just watch it. Trust me, watch it.
It's a good film.
Don't look up anything. Just watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
Back then in the 90s,
you didn't have
there was no internet, so he didn't have to worry about that as a precursor. But I remember watching
big
it.
Mouth. There's not really many films nowadays that capture people like that.
I mean, I think
films used to be such a big thing. Yeah, but that was ruined for me. Just before I was about to watch it, I had gone without knowing the ending of Sixth Sense for fucking months. Right, and it come out on DVD, and I was just about to watch it that night, and my mate said, blah, 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 and I was like, are you fucking, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, why? And I thought, you fucking prick. I'm about to watch the DVD.
And he went, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And I thought...
Yeah, I had, well...
Piss me off.
For me, with Sixth Sense, I'd managed to avoid it, and I was flat sitting for you for some reason, in Bow.
Yeah.
And I was at college, and I went to the flat, I watched half the film, and then I had to stop and go to college. The next day, I'd gone back, I thought, right, I'm going to watch it. And as soon as I pressed play, it suddenly dawned on me, I suddenly went, hold on a second, and I realised what was going to happen, and I was so gutted.
Yeah.
But that's why I made sure when you watched it, I didn't mention anything. I said, let's watch this, Lil. Watch it in one go.
It ruins the experience of a film. And I'd like to know how I would have reacted to that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I like it when I sort of get these little twists and you go, oh, bloody hell, I didn't see that coming.
Because there's certain things which are now ingrained in cinema history, like with Norman Bates or with Darth Vader, certain sort of facts about them which everyone knows, even if they ain't seen the film.
Yeah.
But I always like to think, imagine being in the cinema the first time Psycho came out, and you're thinking, okay, she's the character we're going to follow all the way through.
Yeah.
And she gets killed halfway through the film.
Spoiler alert, for Psycho.
Oh, well, listen, it's 1960, isn't it? I'm sure people have seen it by now.
Well, loads of people haven't seen older films.
Or it's like, you know, in the train, one of the first films when the train's going through the cinema. Like if it's way back then.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
like one of the most original pieces of
We're talking about Ghost then.
No. No.
The train, with the ghost train.
No. Like one of the most original pieces of cinema where the train's going towards the screen and everyone thought that it was actually going to come at them and they will run out the cinema, which is
stupid.
I've seen something really good they do at the moment. It was 5D cinema. It's got all these people in the cinema, and all of a sudden the screen sets on fire and all the ceiling sets on fire, and it looks really realistic. And you realise, no, it's not. It's literally just projections. You know, it's amazing what they can do with it, but they don't really do much with it anyway.
I think they will do soon. But a lot of people don't use cinema now, do they?
No, because other people ruin it. I like going cinema, but so many people just sit there like, oh, look at this, let me look up an IMDb.
Well, talking about IMDb, this got 6.4
really
out of 10 on
I
IMDb.
think that's really low for this film.
Yeah.
I think it would deserve like more like
Well,
a 7.2 or something.
Well, wait till the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes critics give it 57%, and the audience give it 7%.
That's crazy.
The audience give it 65%. Why don't you question that when I said that?
I thought you said 70 for a second.
No,
that's
65%.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah, I would have thought the audience would have at least been about 80s, because I would have thought the audience would have loved this film for that reason, because it's a good film.
Yeah.
It is a good film. As I say, it might not be aimed at us, but it's a good film. You can sort of appreciate it. It's well cast. It's well put together. It doesn't drag. It's sort of to the point. You know.
I think it's a really great film. I don't understand how it would be so
exactly.
low.
I know sometimes you get confused with stuff like this. But the budget was $15 million, and it made $55.6 million. So it made quite a good return.
Yeah. No, so I liked it though. Good choice.
Yeah, excellent film.
Yeah. So who's going to choose next week's one? Me or you? Shall I choose next week's one?
Yeah, go on then.
Next week I've chosen Flintstones meets Rockula and Frankenstein.
Classic.
Yeah. Since it's Halloween month. You've seen that, Lil, haven't you?
I don't know.
You must have.
No, she might not have.
I don't think I remember seeing it, so...
You would have if you'd seen it.
It's a good film.
Really good film.
that's like you with everything though. You're like, oh well, it's fine. Show your 5-year-old daughter Demons 2.
Well, you was alright with Exorcist and The Shining
Exorcist
and
and
American Wife in
Shining.
London. She's sitting there going, is that it? And I put on Demons 2 and she's like, Dad, turn it off.
Was she scared of Demons too?
I hate Why?
Why?
It just freaked
It's
me out.
I know it scared me when I first watched
I
it.
watch Exorcist and Shining. I'm like, oh.
The thing
fine.
is, Demons too. I think it's where she's so skinny and she's like sort of, and the makeup, and it's just like that kind of.
No, she was scared when they was all looking
And they're
at
actually
their
young.
white eyes.
Yeah, and they're actually young. They actually are the ages.
Yeah.
Like that was surprising with Demons. They are actually about 16 years old.
I can't. I just those films. That freaks me out. But like.
So that's your thing. These demons is like the thing that scares you out of all the horror.
Yeah, which is weird because, like, again, I didn't find The Exorcist scary. I just laughed at it the entire time. I think it's probably because I watched Scary Movie before it.
I think The Exorcist had been built up to be something so big because it was banned when I was a kid. And when it finally was released, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to see this film. And I've seen the parodies of French and Saunders doing it and all that.
Repossessed.
And then Repossessed. I'd seen lots of the parodies, so I knew what it was about. And I think I built it up so much in my head. I loved the film, but I just feel that
See, I was
wasn't
scared.
scary.
I thought it was scary.
It's a brilliant film. I think it's a really good film. But
Because I didn't know
don't think
about
it's
the
really
parodies as much. And when I watched it for the first time, and I watched it in the dark, and all those eerie noises, and you think, oh, it's so satanic. And right now, I've just looked at
the religious aspect.
It's
It's the religious aspect of it as well. I think is the thing that scares people, especially if you're religious.
Yeah. So I was a Catholic.
Yeah, Catherine was really bad. I know when we went to that.
She watched
that
it?
horror. No, we went to that bloody Blackpool. You know what I mean? You have to walk
Passage
around
of
their
Terror.
bed. She fucking went ballistic. She had to walk around the Exorcist bed. She didn't know about it. She's always avoided it. And the Exorcist girl was sitting in the bed, and you got about that much room to walk around the bed. And she had a heart attack. She went straight home after that. She went, I'm going back to the hotel room. She lost one of her flippers in there, flip-flops in there.
Flippers. She's wearing flippers.
Flip-flop things broke, and she ran. She screamed. She was like having heart palpitations. But I suppose that's the thing that's been built up. Was like she's Irish as well, and the Catholic sort of thing is like you don't watch the Exorcist.
Don't mess with God.
So
and the
it's
devil.
been so sort of probably the
Ingrained
Exorcist.
in them,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she's walked into a room and the girl's sitting in the bed. It's probably like. You know, and even though, you know, she's like, oh my God, what she's like, doing all that kind of stuff. And then the girl's looking at her, she zoned straight in at Catherine. She's like leaping at her like that.
Have you ever done Passage of Terror?
No.
You know what? I think
You need to do
I
that.
think you went to the one in Spain.
Yeah, but she won't
I've
remember
never
that.
been
No, you didn't.
She's
That was
back
your
far.
mum.
No,
I've
she's
never
back
been
far.
to
No, it's,
Spain anyway.
it's before you was born. Sorry, I took me and your mum went through the Passage.
That was
of Terror.
Tivoli World, wasn't it?
Tivoli World, yeah.
I
You
wouldn't
should
mind
take her
doing
to
that.
Blackpool. You'd like that.
Yeah, I'd do something like that. It's just.
Did you go there with Adam recently? Was it you and
Yeah.
Adam? Was it? Is
He
it
loved it.
scary?
Yeah, because they've changed it a bit.
Oh, good.
Because I updated.
Did he like
It's
it?
got the nun in there now as well.
Oh, right. Did he like it? Did he like it?
Yeah, he loved it. He
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah.
Me and my friend wanted to go to that Horror Nights thing this year.
What's that?
I don't remember where it is. It's
That's a very similar thing. Well, you and your
Yeah.
friends should go up to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Go to Passage of Terror, and then you can also go on the biggest roller coaster in the country.
Yeah.
oh no, I'm so bad.
It used to be
at
called
roller
Pepsi Max. I
coasters.
don't know what it's called now. Probably something else. Someone else is sponsoring it.
Yeah.
Red Bull.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, thanks for watching. Please hit that like button, subscribe, share and comment on the film or on this podcast. And and we'll see you next week for Flintstones.
Right.
Okay.
All right then.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.